Hi, in this session we will discuss SAP Fiori. So what is the overview of SAP Fiori? Which all deployment options we have, which all landscape options we have, and what are the app types available in market for SAP Fiori. So what is SAP Fiori? SAP Fiori is the new user experience for SAP software. So as we all know that SAP is the leading ERP which is available in the market, and there are many customers, Fortune 500 customers, which are using SAP as a ERP. So now the user requirement is that they need something which can provide them a people-centric interface and a Google-like search functionality, which will bring them more flexibility, speed, and powerful information. So now the user experience is not only confined to the 350 apps in which are there in SAP Fiori, rather SAP is implementing this new user experience to their all other applications, whether it is the SAP HCM, CRM. So all other applications also SAP is implementing the new user experience. So this will provide the optimal usability for simplified business interactions, and it will provide greater ease of use. So now we have 300 plus role-based apps. So when SAP Fiori was launched one or 1.5 years back, at that time SAP has launched only 25 plus applications. So in those applications it was like for the employees or for the managers for the sales order. But now SAP has added 300 plus role-based applications to that package. So now these role-based applications can be for an HR, finance, manufacturing, procurement, and sales line of business. So the ability which these apps are providing to us is that the users can perform the transactions, they can get the better insight, and they can take action depending on that insight, view the fact sheets and the contextual information. So now we will show you an example like how it looks like today and how it is looking in the Fiori. So we will take an example of an employee applying for a leave request. So now I'll just log in to my ECC system. So in the current scenario where the SAP Fiori is not implemented, so what is happening is that the employee has to go to the transaction PA30. Then in PA30 we have all the info type text available to us which we have defined in PA40 transaction. So first of all I have to search for my personal number. I'll just search it using the star to see which all employees are available. Now I will choose any of them, and in the info type I have all the info type text available, like what action I want to apply for. So this way I can see that I have all these options available to me. So say I want to see the leave entitlement. This is the subtype of the info type. Now what I have to do is I have to go to 2006. So this 2006 is basically to apply to create a absence quota for an employee. So for this what I have to do is I have to create first the quota for the employee. After that, once the quota is created, then I have to go to 2001, which is for applying the leave request, which is for the absences. Now I have to create a absence request for this employee. So in this the employee has to select all these things, like he can select any of them depending on the type of leave he want to apply for. Like it can be a half day leave, it can be a educational leave, it can be a industrial accident, anything. So depending on the requirement of a employee, he will select that. Okay, so say if I select this one, the general leave, and after that I have to select the from and to, like for which dates I want to apply for the leave. So say if I want to apply for the current week, and then once I have done this, so after that I have to just submit this request. So I will click on this save activity. So once I will click on this save activity, so my record will be generated and my leave request will go to my manager for approval. So this is how it is right now. The scenario is this much complex. The user has to go through these many transactions and these many screens if you want to apply for a leave request. Now how it looks like when it is a SAP Fiori application. So this is how it looks like. So this is a demo server. I'll just click on. It will open up my Fiori Launchpad. So as I said that Fiori Launchpad is a entry point. Yeah, so from here I can apply for my leave request. So this is the home page for a SAP Fiori Launchpad. So we can have the catalogs and we can have the groups inside it. So what does that mean? So groups are basically the logically related tiles, the logically related apps, and so like in this we can see the human capital management. So all the apps which are related to the HCM, so all will be inside this group, like my pay stubs, my benefits, my leave request, my timesheet. Then we have the similar way we have for the logistics, that is for the material management. So we have the approve requisition, order from requisition, approve purchase order. Similarly for all these modules for which we have given the access to the user, the role based access, the user will be able to see all these apps on the Fiori Launchpad home page. Now depending on the requirement, what user will do, he will click on my leave request. So once the user will click on my leave request, it will open up this calendar and the user has to select okay for which days he want to apply for the leave. So say if I've given 8 till 12th, 8 June till 12th June. So after that I can also check what are my entitlements. I'll just click on the entitlements and I'll be able to see what is my available leave balance, how much I have taken, and how many pending hours are there. So this way I can check the entitlement of an employee or the user who is logged in. After that, once I have selected the period for which I want to apply for a leave, I will click on send. So as soon as I will click on send, my my leave request will go to my manager, like who is Timmy Tabasco. So basically whenever a user will log in and apply for the leave request, so in the system the request will go to his manager, and this way I have requested for a leave in a 2-3 simple steps and a better GUI. I'll click on OK. Now if I want to see the history, like how many leaves I have applied for or how many leaves I have taken, so it will show me that okay, I have applied for the 5 days vacation from 8th June till 12th June and the status for that is sent. Then I have the old history, like on February 25th I have taken a vacation and I have booked the time for it. Then on 17th to 18th February I have taken the paid leave. So similarly we can get the history of, we can check the history, like how many leaves the employer has taken, so the user can check that. And also from this drop down we can select the type, like whether it is a vacation, whether it is a sickness, it's a floating holiday, or it's a paid leave. So this way we can also select the type of that. So this is how my leave request. Now you can see that how different it is from the traditional SAP application or the SAP module. So the people don't want, the users don't want to see that yellow and gray screen now, rather they want something which is more flexible. So like similar way, if we need something from the Google search engine, what we'll do is that we'll go to Google and we type and we get the results. So this much easiness is required by a today's user. So this is how we can apply for the leave request. Similarly, we have the different applications available, like I have for the approve requisitions. So depending on the role I have, say if I am a manager, I'll be getting only those tiles which are relevant to my role. That is to approve, to provide the approval. And if I am an employee, so only those applications I can see which are relevant to my role. So this is how we are providing a very secured and a enhanced GUI using SAP Fiori. Now, which all app types SAP Fiori is providing to us? So we have three app types, that is the transactional, analytical and the fact sheets. So SAP has categorized the Fiori apps into three categories, that is as transactional apps, analytical apps and the fact sheets. So what is the difference? Transactional apps basically perform the transactional task such as creating, changing or processing any request. However, the analytical apps will allow to have role-based insight into real-time operations of business by collecting and displaying the key figures directly into the browser. So basically the transactional apps are to perform certain tasks, rather the analytical apps will allow you to provide the insight into the data. Then we have the fact sheets. Fact sheets will display the contextual information about the central objects which are used in the business operations. Example, if we have a material fact sheet, so this fact sheet will allow the users to display the contextual information about the material, and it will also allow them to navigate from one fact sheet to another fact sheet. So if we have the two related fact sheets, so we can navigate from one fact sheet to another related fact sheet or any other transactional apps. So these are the three app types which SAP is providing to us with SAP Fiori. Now we have these are the two gateway deployment options. So gateway is the most important thing when we work with the SAP Fiori. Otherwise we won't be able to see the data in a browser. Now, so OData services and the gateway. So these will help the users to see the backend data in a UI browser. So we have the two options of gateway deployment, that is the central hub deployment or the embedded deployment. So when we say the central hub deployment, it means that we are separating our business logic and the UI components from each other. So the benefit of the central hub deployment is that it will provide enhanced security, as there will be no direct access to the data. And the embedded deployment, we will be applying the business logic and the UI components into the same server. So these are the two deployment options, and SAP suggests to use the central hub deployment when we are using it in a project. Now this is the high level architecture overview of SAP Fiori, like how it works. So first of all we have the mobile browser, or we can have the desktop browser. So all the clients from where we want to access SAP Fiori, so they should be HTML5 supportable. So all the clients regardless of the app type must support HTML5. Then we have the reverse proxy, that is a web dispatcher. It is required only for the analytical and the fact sheets. So we don't need the reverse proxy or the web dispatcher for the transactional apps. We only need it for the analytical and the fact sheets. Then we have the ABAP front-end server. It will contain all the UI components and the NetWeaver gateway. Then we have ABAP backend server. So ABAP backend server will contain all the backend logic, business logic in data, as well as the search models for the fact sheets. So this is how our architecture will look like. So my request will come from the client. It can be any. So it can be a smartphone, it can be a tablet, it can be a laptop. So we can access SAP Fiori using any of these. So my request will go directly to the ABAP front-end server if I am trying to access a transactional app. But if I am trying to access analytical or the fact sheet, then it will go through a reverse proxy. Then ABAP front-end server will contact ABAP back-end server to get the data from the database. Now we only have the option of SAP HANA as a database if we are using analytical apps or the fact sheets. But in the transactional app, we can use any database with SAP HANA. So there is no restriction of database for transactional app, but for the analytical and the fact sheet, we should use SAP HANA as a database. Now, in order to transfer the data and the security credentials, communication must be established to various servers using the different channels and the protocols. So in this architecture, we have different servers. Like we have a BAP front-end server, we have a BAP back-end server, reverse proxy server. So there must be some communication channel using which they will transfer the data and the security credentials. So basically, the client will communicate directly with the ABAP front-end server by issuing HTML and OData request through HTTPS connection. And the data and the services from ABAP backend server are provided to front-end server through OData services. So the communication between ABAP front-end server and the backend server will happen through OData services. Now it is through the trusted RFC connection. So ABAP front-end server will contain all the infrastructure components to generate an SAP Fiori app and the specific UI for the clients and to communicate with the backend system. So this is how the communication between various layers happen. Now these are the three landscape options which we have, using which we can set up the infrastructure for SAP Fiori. So as soon as we decide that we have to implement SAP Fiori in our production environment, so we need the infrastructure to support SAP Fiori. So there are three landscape options available, that is the ABAP environment, SAP HANA database or SAP HANA Access. So ABAP environment can be used only for the transactional apps. But if we want to go for the analytical or the fact sheets, we have to go for SAP HANA database or SAP HANA Access, that is a application application of SAP HANA. So what we need if we want to deploy any particular SAP Fiori app. So in the previous slide, we have discussed about ABAP front-end server and the ABAP back-end server. So basically, like when we decide to implement any Fiori app, we first have to identify like which front-end components I need and which all back-end components I need. So how we can get this information? So we already have this information available on the help.sap.com/Fiori. So if you will go to this link, you will be able to get all the information for SAP, any of the SAP Fiori app. So on the left hand side, you can see that we have all the Fiori apps, whether the transactional apps, analytical apps or the fact sheets. So if you will expand that section, so I have taken the example of approved travel request. So if you will expand that approved travel request application, you will have three sections inside it, that is the app history, app implementation and app extensibility. So when we go to the app history, it will provide me the whole information, like which all versions of this app were published already, and if I want to use any of that particular version, I can go for it. Then we have the app implementation. App implementation section, you will get the implementation information of the most latest version of that particular app type. So now for the approved travel request, I'll be able to get the whole information, like how I can set up my landscape. So these are all the three options which we discussed, that is the ABAP environment, using the SAP HANA database, using SAP HANA Access. Same way, if I scroll down, then I'll be able to see like which all backend components I need for my backend server and which all front-end components I need from my front-end server. So I basically need SRA 009 and support pack 7, and for the front-end component I need this UI and the support level 5. So this is how I can identify which all front-end and back-end components I need. Then we have the app extensibility section. Now say SAP has provided one application to me, which is the my timesheet. Now there might be a requirement in my project that I need certain new fields to be added to that timesheet app. So in this section I'll get that complete information how I can extend my existing Fiori app. So this will provide me the extension points, the UI controllers and the bodies which are required. So following this, I'll be able to extend my Fiori app which SAP has provided. So this complete information is available on help.sap.com/Fiori. So now if I take the example of this approved travel request, if I go to the implementation section, I will be able to see the components which I need. Now from where I will get these components, that is SRA 009 and this one the UI component. For that we have to go to the SAP support portal, and from there we have to go to the software download center. Now how you will log into this software download center? So you must need the S user ID to log into this and to download it. So now since I have already logged on to the software download center using my S user ID, so I can directly go to the software downloads, and inside that I have the installation and upgrades. So for that I will go to search for the installations and upgrades. Now since I need SRA 009, I will just put that search term and I'll click on search. So it will provide me all the options, all the which are matching with this SRA 009. So from here I have to download this SRA 009, and if I'll go to the next page, so in the app implementation section we have seen that we need a support package 7 for this. So I'll install the SRA installation component, and from the next page I will be able to get this support package 007 for this. So I will just save that onto my local system. Once I will download it, I'll be able to save it on my local system. Now I have saved this SRA 009 into my local machine under this folder Fiori. So I have to now I have the required front-end components and the back-end components in my local system. Now I have to upload them into a landscape where I have set up the environment for SAP Fiori. So I'll just go back to my ECC system on which I have the gateway services deployed. Now we have various ways using which we can install all these components. So either we can use a solution manager, which is a recommended way from SAP, and we can also load it from the front end. So we have different applications and we have different T codes. So we can also use the Saint T code, which is a add-on installation tool. Now what I will do is I can add that transaction into my favorites. So if you are frequently accessing few transactions, you can add it to your favorites. Now I will double click on it. I'll go to the installation package, load packages, and from front end. Now it will ask me to select for the component. So I will allow this one time. So this is how you can upload the components in your system. Now once you are done with the upload of all the backend and the front end components, now you have to create the SAP Fiori Launchpad using the LPD cust. So that we will be covering in a different session. So this is basically the end of this Fiori session, in which we have discussed the overview. We have seen the Fiori app, which is my leave request, where I have shown you the difference, how the SAP Fiori app is providing the flexibility to the user and how easy it is to create a leave request using SAP Fiori app. Then we have seen the architecture overview, how the different layers are communicating. So this is the end of this session. Thank you.